But I was like, at the time I was living at home. I was like, I didn't have too many bills. I was like, I'll figure it out. And so then I quickly, within the first couple weeks, I found a small production house, New Hampshire based, that needed an in-house video person for like a big IT company.
Today, I'm joined by Jacob, or Jake Doucette, founder of Phitted Media. Jake turned his passion into film and photography to a thriving media production business based out of Hampton, New Hampshire.
Yeah.
And you serve mostly small and medium-sized businesses up and down the coast. I've seen you in like Boston. I've seen you in Maine. So we'll talk about his journey, impact of AI on his journey, and the strategies that helped you grow to where you are. But first, let's get into welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Happy to be here.
Tell me about.
I'm honored.
You are honored. You're one of the founding guests, I should say.
Cool.
But tell me
Very
about
cool.
tell me about Phitted Media and your journey and what you do.
Yeah. My name is Jake Doucette. I have a video production business based out of Hampton, and we really cater towards corporate local businesses. Whether that be banks, construction companies, retirement agency has been a big project of ours this year, and realtors, the occasional wedding. So it's kind of the areas of businesses that we cover. And on top of Phitted Media, I am a freelancer and work for other agencies like AM Creative.
Yeah, that's how we. I guess we'll do a quick backstory. So this ties into your journey, I guess. So
It does.
both of
It
ours,
does,
really.
Yeah.
But we met. I don't even know, like 2018 ish, when you were starting.
I think it was like fall of 2018. We met at that.
So tell me how you started Phitted Media, and then we can kind of roll in.
Sure. Yeah. I kind of just was very interested in photography senior year of high school in 2012, and would just steal my sister's DSLR camera from time to time, and finally got my own like 2013, 2014, and always was very interested in video production. I thought everything on YouTube was so creative, and cinematic vlogs and stuff was something I was super interested in, and video was just like super hard compared to photography, and kept trying. And then I was working full time as a welder and wanted to do video and kept practicing, and finally had a little bit of skill and quit and started working for this little small production company. And then about that same time, I saw an ad when you needed help for second shooters for weddings. And I think I had been to like one or two weddings when we had that meeting, so I didn't know anything about weddings.
I didn't either, really.
and so I was very nervous when we first started weddings, but and then quickly, that turned into however many weddings we did together, and now it's like I can do one in my sleep. Which is
Yeah, we really had those down.
Which has helped. This year I started picking up a few weddings for next year, versus 2024 I did two weddings.
Okay.
And I just, for a long time, I was like burnt out of them. In like 2022, 2023, I was like, I'm not really interested in working every weekend. It's like such a long day. But then I was like, I missed it. I was like, you know what? If I can do maybe a handful of weddings that I find interesting, if they're, at a pretty venue, and, if the couple is somebody that, I work really well with, I was like, why not do some of my own weddings? So I got a few next year or this year
nice.
that I'm very excited about.
Yeah. I couldn't do them anymore. We just had Kate on before so we talked about the burnout of it. I don't know how she does so many, but
it's a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot. So we totally stopped, and you kind of took the torch.
Which was super cool. And then just incorporating. I just like fell into corporate video production, which is hilarious. Sometimes I'm like, how did I end up here and working these like big galas and stuff as like a cam op? And I'm like, this is crazy. But so I freelance a lot in Boston for an AV company, and I'm one of their go-to cam ops, and so that's fun. And then with occasionally assisting you on jobs, and Winwood Tradewind Productions up in Concord doing freelance stuff for them. I just my weeks are kind of all over the place. That's something that I have 2025 I'm going to try and get more of a grasp on, as far as like niching down to whether it's just freelancing or having just working for Phitted Media stuff, and doing whether it's just weddings, just construction, just corporate, That's something I'm trying to navigate this
Focus
year.
in more on something
Yeah, focusing
specific.
more on something. Maybe right now my website kind of is like a general of like everything we've worked on, and I need to maybe break that out into either other names or just Phitted Media PM wedding films or
Yeah.
and something for more for trades. Yeah, so
Uh,
that's a
We'll talk
something I might
about
cover.
niching down in a second, but I
Hmm.
wanted to talk about the transition from full time. I guess you were working as the welder to full time on your own.
Yeah.
What was that like? Do you remember like a day when you were just like, I quit, or how did that transition go?
Yeah, I definitely I love welding, but it's just everything else that goes along with it that I did not care for. I was making a little bit of money doing video projects. I shot a wedding by myself. I had no business shooting this wedding by myself.
Back before when you were
Back
new? Yeah.
before, yeah, this was like 2017. Um, so I was making a little bit of money. Was doing some stuff for a local physical therapy place, orthopedics place, and I just was like, I need to get out of here. I was like, I was so passionate about video production that I started checking Indeed and like LinkedIn and any sort of Craigslist jobs for any sort of video photo position. And
Did you like formally quit your welding job in like 2018 when you started, or is there another time?
yeah, I formally quit. I quit just cold turkey. I didn't have another job, but I was like, at the time I was living at home. I was like, I didn't have too many bills. I was like, I'll figure it out. And then I quickly within the first couple weeks I found a small production house, New Hampshire based, that needed an in-house video person for like a big IT company. So and then doing that for a few months, I saw your ad where you needed help with wedding films, and I remember bugging you a ton to just like learn real estate photography.
Yeah.
I was like, I'll just come for free, whatever, and learn that. So that was also another like avenue of like to get paid
Yeah, real
was
estate,
real
we picked
estate.
up on that was a big part of both. I
Hmm.
still do a lot of marketing for real estate agents
Hmm.
a little bit of a different way now, but
Hmm.
we were I think there were some summers where we would do weddings on weekends, sometimes 2 or 3, and then shoot houses during the week,
Yeah, yeah, we were
like
working together a
multiple a
lot.
day, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, working multiple a day, which was like like I thought it was great. Being able
It was
to
during COVID too,
sh-
so it was like good to well, the weddings weren't, but like real estate, we did a ton of that
Yeah.
during COVID.
Yeah, I remember like, when COVID hit like that March, I didn't work for a few weeks because everyone was like, parents, friends, family was like, you're going to like go into somebody's
Yeah.
house and like touch their germs. And I was like, well, I need to get paid, and houses like are like going like crazy. So I was like, I'm just going to we were wearing gloves, wiping
I
down our
remember that,
stuff,
yeah,
wearing
yeah.
masks. And we just went for it. Which I had, I had a good time. I had a good time.
I think COVID, since we're both sort of in similar industry, COVID catapulted like what we do like 10 years. Like if we didn't have COVID, we'd be like behind, I think, a lot. Like the importance of video and marketing and
Yeah,
social media and like online presence was focused in on during COVID. It made it like it was
totally.
good for us.
Totally. Yeah, I agree. I had some cool corporate gigs that probably wouldn't have existed. With people doing online events rather than in person events. So being a cam up for online events was in like live stream events was a big part of my 2020, which wouldn't have happened if COVID didn't happen, which is cool. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. So what are some of the challenges? Do you remember like when you were, I don't know, the first few years, you mentioned in the pre podcast survey, scraping by financially. How do you stay motivated to just keep going? It takes a special kind of person to do what we do and just run a business
Yeah.
on your own.
I get tired, and I have been a little tired. And that's kind of why I want to niche down and pick something, or at least have something a little bit more consistent rather than having every day being so different. Yeah, which I think is
So is that a challenge, kind of honing in?
yeah.
It's hard to say no if someone,
It's so hard to say
it's
no.
like, here's a nice little,
It's
event gig for
yeah,
a day where you get a ton of
yeah.
money and you don't have to deal with editing.
Yeah, which is my favorite. Like if I could just film, cam op, DP, and not have to edit. Just because I just love getting good shots and making shots look good. Being creative on, in the post production process is cool from time to time, but when you have to sit down and like, scrub through, several hours of interviews, it's tough.
It's tough. Yeah.
It's tough. Yeah, so that's a bit of a challenge. And to keep going, I mean, luckily the winters do slow down a bunch, where I do creative juices, kind of like my creative energy kind of comes back.
Like a reset. Yeah.
Yeah. So, from Thanksgiving to like end of January, I'm not doing too much. So like even the past few weeks, it's like been a nice break. Where jobs have picked up now and again, and I used to stress about this. I was
Yeah.
like, the last 5 years of being in business, every winter I'd be like,
Shit.
how am I going to make money?
Yeah.
Like this is not financially, this is not going to work out. But every year it just comes back, and then all of a sudden you're like crazy busy again. And
Yeah.
you're like,
Yeah.
holy crap, why was I worried? And you're like, it is.
January is when I do most of my like planning and new initiatives roll out, because it's just that much more free time.
Yeah. So there was things this winter that I've been checking off that I want to do. Changing, business strategy and platforms, and keeping up to date with my Part 107 drone license.
Yeah. Can't forget that.
Yeah, which
although they just DJI just like dropped all limitations to fly wherever you want.
Yeah,
which is weird.
which I did see, which is very interesting.
Don't know why they're doing that.
They're like, on the government's radar, and they're dropping those.
I won't go down the rabbit holes that I went down with that, but so niching down. What does that look like to you? Do you think? What are some of the challenges you're trying to decide through?
Yeah, I mean, obviously staying financially afloat, but then just choosing things that I'm passionate about, which I'm super passionate about. Anything in the outdoor industry. I spend a lot of time snowboarding, hiking, and mountain biking. So, and camping. So if I can, take those things and create content around them for brands or products, that's something I want to spend a little bit more time for 2025, even if it is, more of passion projects, or styled shoots that, I am, financially backing it rather than somebody paying me. I think that's something I want to spend time doing this year. Yeah, and then just keeping a balance of, getting paid, doing the corporate gigs.
Do you think you'll ever have like Phitted Media is just corporate video production, or just this type of video for this type of business, or will it be like weddings? Are you gonna split it up? What do you think?
So I've thought about that for a while. It's like, do I keep Phitted Media and then start something new where I'm just focused on the stuff I'm super passionate about, and then separating out to like PM wedding films or Phitted Media wedding films, and then Phitted Media like trade production or something like that, where I'm just working with construction and ironwork companies. That's been something I've been pondering the past few weeks, and I kind of started that process by doing a rebrand, which was like super exciting, just changing my logo, changing colors, fonts, working on the website. So yeah, I'm super excited about the new logo that I came up with the past couple weeks. Yeah.
Nice. I think there's a difference from making like 8 brands. You're still doing 8 different things, but might appeal to one person, versus niching down and doing mostly one thing, so you become like the master at it, and then you can charge more. But that's the harder one, because you have to say no to other things.
Yeah.
That's kind of the route we went with our service-based contractors and builders, and we have some doctors, but it's really honed in on specific things that we provide. Yeah. Because I was like, just like you, just doing too many different things, and like weddings and real estate photography, which we still do a little bit of that, but trying to become a master of one thing. Totally. And not like, I don't know. It's a tough. I'm not saying we're perfected at it either.
It's very tough, and I feel like it does, just like you're saying, I feel like it does limit my, creativity, or my, giving me space to do one thing all the time creates so much growth, rather than I'm jumping around. I feel like I am learning, and I feel like I have gotten some good skills, but like, if you're doing one thing the whole time, you can, just grow so much more. And
maybe like, better. Maybe you hone Phitted Media into whatever niche you do that you like the best, that is the most profitable, but then you still do everything else on the side. And
Sure.
I don't know.
Sure.
We're just kind
Yeah.
of brainstorming this. I
Yeah.
have no idea.
Yeah. You know, yeah,
Because I'm
it's
sure brides
so,
don't want to see all kinds of dirt biking and stuff when they
yeah.
look at like a
Right.
portfolio. And I'm
Right.
sure companies probably don't want to see a bunch of
Yeah.
brides and so it just
Exactly.
sends mixed
Exactly.
signals. But
It totally
it's a hard
does.
thing to not to
Yeah. I
crack.
know. Yeah. I know. Yeah. I know you've worked on that the past few years when you separated the wedding films. Yeah. I think I'm always just like a few years behind you.
Yeah, well, that's okay.
Yeah.
I can test things and let you know
Yeah.
what
Yeah.
works and
Definitely.
more importantly
Yeah.
what doesn't.
Yeah. And I've thought about, having getting an office and having like a podcast studio too, which would be, I've been thinking about ways to just, keep myself different from other people, whether it's having a podcast studio, becoming, more of like an FPV drone pilot, or having like a grip van. That's something that I find super interesting is just outfitting a van full of lighting and, grip equipment for films and for production, where like I rent out the van and myself, or just myself,
Okay.
or just the van.
Right. That would give you like B2B with other video people
Right.
some income, right? I will
Right.
say I don't think
Right.
clients give a shit if we have an office and all
It's
that stuff.
yeah.
It's like on the
Yeah.
margins maybe. Like this
Yeah.
office, I'll be honest, doesn't do anything for my business unless I'm like renting it for a podcast or like have some meetings here.
Sure.
But
Sure.
really all they care about, clients, the same things we care about, is just getting our business further along.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yep. And getting them further along, creating a good
right.
good project for them. Yeah, and I had a studio office like a few
Oh,
years
that's
ago.
right. Yeah.
Yeah,
And like
over in
Exeter,
Exeter.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which it was nice to have, but I wasn't going there enough.
No.
And I just spent so much time on site at clients' offices, where it wasn't even necessary.
Yeah. I question if this place is necessary sometimes. But
At least you got this going with the podcast. This is super
yeah.
cool. Yeah.
All right. So TBD on niching down. We'll see how it goes.
We'll see how it goes.
You got
yeah.
like a month and a half until it gets busy again, probably. So should probably figure it out.
Yeah. Luckily, things are coming back in.
Yeah. No. It's supposed to be a good spring for business. We shall see. So
Cool.
let's
Glad to
talk
hear it.
about marketing. So what works best for you? What are you like? Do you have something that you always do, or like what's your marketing look like?
Yeah, I definitely have no big strategy or big secret when it comes to marketing. I mean, I honestly think word of mouth is like the best form of marketing.
course,
when
yeah.
you're local in the community. I think just staying visible in your community is huge. Whether that's, I try to get out and create stuff for fun, as much as possible, even if it's just something that's just like putting the drone up for like a sunset video or something.
Yeah,
or talking
you
to
do a lot
local
of that.
business
You
owners.
should definitely check out Jake's Instagram. You have a lot of the just nature around here.
Yeah. Love me some of our seacoast nature. Yeah,
Yep.
it's the best. Um,
So what's your primary platforms? Instagram, Facebook? What do you
yeah,
use?
Instagram's definitely my primary. I have Phitted Media and then Phitted Jake for my more personal, like outdoorsy stuff. But Phitted Media, just staying relevant, staying top of mind for people, and just showing what I've been working on recently and showing more behind the scenes of how things get done. And another thing I want to do in 2025 is show more of me. I'm always just showing camera stuff, people I'm working with, where I'm working, but like get in front of the camera more, which is
what we're doing here.
This
That's one of the
this helps.
motivators for this.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this is a good start to 2025. Yeah, exactly. So it's just showing business owners who I am behind the camera. Yeah.
What works the best on your Instagram, like the type of posts that you've made? I think you have a decent amount of followers, like 5,000 or something.
Yeah, on my personal one.
What do you think?
Yeah.
What gets the most engagement? What
Honestly, when I show my face,
your face? Yeah.
which is so crazy. But it works. I don't know if it's the algorithm when she sees that you're being more personable. It just puts your stories out there more, or puts your posts out there more. It really works.
I think
and
people
telling a story
yeah.
in the video, or even having a little bit of a story in your caption, it works. Yeah, and being consistent about posting.
Yeah, people just want that connection. I think like algorithms change. I think, but it's all based on keeping people glued like zombies to their phone.
Yeah,
and you care about like the people. Like I don't know. I feel like it hugely shift in that way in the last like year or so. Before you could have like polished high videos that were just like really nice B-roll and
yeah,
all this fancy shit.
yeah.
And it worked amazing. But I
Yeah.
think now the algorithms just favor what people want to see, which is like
Yeah.
real people,
Real
shit, like
moments.
the
Yeah.
what do you call them, reality shows. Like that's why those are so popular, because people
Yeah.
just care about
Yeah.
looking at other train wrecks of people, or like good
Yeah.
stories,
They
or
suck me in for sure. For
or
sure.
whatever. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. Just yeah, keeping people up to date with the things I'm working on. Why I'm using that technique to get a shot or a lighting or whatever. Is
yeah, behind the
it
scenes,
gets
like how you do what you do.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. Which I'm always learning from other people that exact same way. So kind of just following the people I've looked up to. Um, yeah, just doing the same thing.
nice. So more of that in 2025.
More of that in
Yeah.
2025. Yeah.
So let's talk about some of the things you mentioned that didn't work out as planned. I think one of the things you put was ads, or like what doesn't necessarily or hasn't worked out for you that you hoped would have in the past.
I have run ads, and I think ads are a success when it comes to, at least for Instagram. I haven't really done any Google ads. A lot of my business comes from other businesses, and I feel like they're not always on Instagram. That's where I think word of mouth comes into play. A huge amount. But if I was a photographer or doing couple portraits, I think wedding ads would probably hit a lot on Instagram,
Because
because that's where younger
yeah,
people are. But yeah, these medium-sized businesses really aren't just like scrolling Instagram. I think they have, maybe if they have a social media person, sure. Yeah,
yeah,
so
B2B is
ads
tough,
really haven't worked for me.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was talking with someone the other day, talking about how business owners aren't on social media. They might be, but their attention for advertising, it's just very hard on there. Like
Yeah.
maybe like the tradespeople are a little more receptive to like
Totally.
messages, but like
Totally.
if you're looking at a actual corporation,
Mhm.
zero shot of
Mhm.
like an ad working.
Mhm.
Maybe on LinkedIn, I don't know, I haven't done a ton of that, but like they're
Yeah.
consumers, like people who are
Exactly.
social media
If you get
is
something to
no
sell to
brainer.
a consumer, I think
Yeah.
it'll land very well on Instagram.
But it is tough.
Yeah.
Most of the ads I run on social media for me aren't really necessarily lead generation. It's more of an awareness type of campaign. And
Okay.
sometimes if
Yeah.
I'm going to be reaching out to a few people that I want to reach out to, I'll run an ad for a few weeks to just get my ugly face out there a lot. So if I reach
Dude,
out,
it works for me.
yeah,
It pops up for
does
me.
it? You see
Yeah.
them?
Yeah.
I should probably you're
I
not my
see your ad.
target, so I should probably fix that a little bit.
So true. Yeah.
But like there
Yeah.
are some people I want to reach out to and just talk to, and it helps if they've seen you before.
Yeah.
That's like one way
Yeah.
I kind of try to do
You
it.
need like a big billboard or something on the side of
Yeah.
95 or
Some drone signs.
yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, ads are tough.
Yeah, ads are tough. But yeah, I mean, it probably would work for if I was trying to get more, landscapers or construction companies, which I am. So that's honestly some of my favorite people to work with. So
Yeah, same here. We work with a lot of those. They're really good people.
yeah, that's I mean, that's like where I come from, and I find it so interesting and fascinating. And they're usually like super excited to see.
They need our help a ton
see
because
their
like
videos.
they're one person show and maybe
Yeah.
they manage a few subs or something, but they don't
Yeah.
have time to like.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll post it on social media once in a while, like a
Yeah.
selfie, but they don't have time to deal with marketing.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's a good fit
exactly,
on both sides.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
What? All right, a few lightning round questions. What's your favorite type of project if you could pick one? Like if you could only do weddings, corporate, real estate, whatever, trade stuff. What
Yeah.
would you?
Trade stuff. I think telling the story of like hardworking men and women and what their day consists of. Making it look super epic and cinematic,
Yeah.
and learning about why they do what they do and the materials they use. I think is probably my number one.
You work a lot with the is it like a sign builder or some kind of metal company or something?
Yeah, Quinn Ironworks.
Okay.
They're based in Essex, but they're all over North Shore and
Even in
Boston.
right?
Yeah,
What's a project look like for them that you work on, that you handle?
Yeah, it's usually meeting them very, very early in Boston, 3-4 a.m.
Jeez.
And the crane is usually there getting set up at the night before midnight. Like the crane guys are a different breed. They're there like 24 hours. But yeah, putting the drone up and getting them flying the steel up on top of buildings, roofs, going up into a building, up through a window, whatever the case may be, and them welding it together on the building, which is super fun. It's generally cold, windy in the winter, but that's one of my favorite things. Seeing sunrise on top of a building and flying the drone and capturing them working is super fun for me.
And that's social media content, or what do you?
That's social media content.
Okay.
Yeah. One of the owners, he's super passionate about his presence on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and because what they do, it just looks so good. And I think they're, they've done stuff in Fenway and whatnot. So like it's just super super cool and fascinating what they do and where they work.
Nice.
Yeah.
How did you get that client? Client acquisition is always a
Word of mouth.
Is it?
I got that client through word of mouth. I have couple of my good friends, or one of my good friends, he works for a sign company over in Plastow where they wrap cars and make signs and stuff, and pinstripe vehicles, and they pinstripe and sign up those trucks. And it was just word of mouth. I took photos for them, and that the Ironworks owner either saw the photos and asked them, or just was asking him who does his photos, and just word of mouth.
Yeah,
And that's been a great client the last 3 years. One of my favorite clients to work with. So, yeah,
word of mouth is king. That's how
Okay.
most of our better clients are, from word of mouth for sure.
Yeah. So yeah, it's super super cool.
What's are there any like marketing ideas or trends or like specific strategies you have in mind for this year, or have you not got that far yet?
I mean, I guess trends and strategies are just showing behind the scenes. Even if it's not informative content, it's just me talking about where I'm going, what I'm doing, and why I'm, doing, getting that certain shot or whatever.
How can you make that easier? Like, I just most of the time use my selfie. Although I did just order a monitor that goes in the back, so you can use your like primary screen and still see it. I don't know if that will motivate me more.
I did not know that existed.
Yeah, it was like $99.
Okay. I'll have to check.
So I'm always looking for like little things that will like make
Yeah.
me more motivated to just use my own like stuff.
I just bought like one of those suction cup mounts for your phone. It's a magnetic, goes into your phone, and then you can suction cup it wherever. So I was like, oh, this might be nice to just put it on a window or something on a wall to get behind the scenes content, whether I'm filming in an office or on a construction site or whatever, and then be able to talk to it a little bit. I've always wanted to do vlogs or something where I'm using a camera or behind the scenes with a camera, but like your phone is just always with you.
Right.
So
it's tough to even.
It's tough to do both at the same time.
I got those glasses from Meta, I think they are, that have the cameras on them.
Yeah.
And that's super easy, but it's just like an extra thing to like mentally keep track of.
Yeah. It's tough. It's tough.
It's tough.
Yeah. So more behind the scenes, and probably having a separate Instagram and website for wedding films and real estate.
I would say definitely for weddings, because that's kind of like oil and water.
Yeah.
Or is that the right term? Vinegar and oil? I don't know.
Yeah.
They don't mix
water.
well.
They don't mix. Yeah.
So let's talk about AI. So that's one of the things you mentioned.
Sure.
What do you think about it? You mentioned it. You think it's going to take jobs?
Yeah, I mentioned it because you're definitely the go-to guy to talk about it. I've been using it a little bit for Instagram posts. I'm a terrible writer, so if I can put in what I'm kind of looking for and it comes out with something awesome and polished, and then I just say
Tweak it,
make it more human.
Yeah.
And dumb it down a little bit. And
one of the things I'm using a lot is make it be able to pass an AI detector, and that
that's a good prompt.
sometimes will help.
That's a good prompt.
Like I'll filter it with that.
Okay. See, it's crazy that you have to like learn what kind of prompts to ask it.
Do you customize? Like I assume ChatGPT, right?
Yeah.
Do you do the settings and like customize it? A lot of people don't even know.
No.
I have like a bunch of videos I'm making on how it's so easy.
I need to watch some of your content.
And then I have tools that you can like put in some stuff and it spits out what to put in that. But you can like customize my ChatGPT, I think it's called.
Okay.
And you can like have it scan your website to like, it's just so everything that it outputs is even further closer to being refined and about you. So you can be like, you could write never use excessive emojis or whatever.
Cool.
You can tell it about your brand, so everything's on
like
brand.
to use emojis and icons. Yeah.
But you think it's going to take job work away, or I think it's.
I don't think it's going to really take work away from me or like us per se. There are like PTZ cameras for live cam jobs where it's just like a joystick and you can have multiple cameras and it can be one cam op controlling the different angles. Um, so maybe in that aspect for live cam op positions, for like maybe sporting events or shows, but there's clients, I guess really what I care to is creating a story for our clients and getting those shots. And oftentimes clients don't know what to ask themselves or to even
Right.
really know what they want. They
Yeah.
want me or us to tell them what they're looking for. And, if they can't tell AI what they want, they still need a person
Or
to
if they
kind
don't
of
even know
create
what
that
they
for
want.
them.
Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. People don't know what they want or what looks, what the trends are. So I think there will still always be, a human at least controlling the project.
I
Even
think,
if cameras get more simple to use,
yeah.
or if I don't need as much help on a shoot or something, that might be the case. But yeah, I mean, I've been using ChatGPT and AI to come up with even scripts to help for interview questions when I'm producing a video for a corporate client. And I want to do some more storytelling where I create like a short cinematic story. So creating a script and a shot list using AI is something that I've kind of been just starting to dabble with.
Yeah, I think
Um,
like businesses that trust is a huge part. If you start to replace the trust building stuff with AI,
mhm.
it's a recipe for disaster.
Yeah.
But like, I can clone myself, and I've done it on some of my socials aren't even me. Uh, and I could make videos where you just type and it uses the clone of you, which looks
What?
100. Like I could show you a post that I like on my Instagram that,
What?
yeah, so you can like do that, but you can kind of tell.
Okay.
And those videos get less interaction than the ones where it's like me and my
Mm.
phone.
Yeah, I mean, there's trends even in the film industry, of being on location and then using green screen and then blue screen, these
Yeah.
visual walls, and now it's like cool again to be on site or on location. So I mean, it might be the
Yeah, that
case.
was not actually me right there. So I talked to the camera for 5 minutes, just rambled on, and then it
Okay.
creates an avatar of you.
I would never know, but I
Yeah.
feel like now that you've told me, I feel like I could see like a little bit of like
Yeah.
weird shift, but like, you don't know. It could just be like the lack of quality in Instagram
Right.
or the service or the Wi-Fi service or whatever.
So that shit will always evolve. In like a year from now, it might even look just like this.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Which
the
is
trust
scary.
building and the processes and the frameworks and stuff, it still needs to be there. And AI gives people like us, I think, a superpower because it can take applying frameworks that might have taken like a week before, like 10
Yeah.
minutes.
Totally.
So
Totally.
I don't think if you were to ask me, I don't think it will replace us, but I think people who use it will replace us. We have AI agents where I can have my clients have an AI person take a phone call and qualify them so they don't have to waste time talking to shit leads who are just like
Yeah.
tire kickers.
Dang.
Um,
That's awesome.
it's so like
That's
that
awesome.
kind of stuff is
Yeah,
kind
well,
of supplements everything
Yeah.
else.
We'll have to talk offline about helping me or using your services to implement that into my business would be cool.
There's a chance there, yeah. If
Yeah.
any like clients that want to implement that stuff, the system is you could
Yeah.
tag it
Yeah.
on.
I
But
need
we'll
I
talk
need
about that.
AI to help with maybe it probably already exists. Help cut down on interview times, like or like editing an interview, like finding the right answers.
Oh yeah, I love this app called Descript.
Descript.
I use it before I go into like Resolve or Final Cut or Premiere. You put the full interview in there and it just transcribes it. So you have like a flowing Word doc.
Yep.
And I can search, I can have AI scan that for things. I can just edit my interview from there. It takes 10 minutes where it would have taken an hour before to scrub through.
Yeah.
Even
Yeah.
timeline.
I do. I mean, Premiere does have like
Have
a
the text.
transcript, and I can like kind of search for things, keywords, which has helped save a lot of time, which is
Yeah.
huge.
The script, you can be like, all right, make a 60-second video about this. And it's not always great at first, but
Yeah.
it gives you like the 2 paragraphs that you can just, I don't know.
That's okay. I'm gonna look that up.
It's like $20 a month, I think.
Okay. All right.
Um,
Everything is
but
a
when
monthly
yeah,
subscription
yeah.
when you're in video production and
I know.
media. It's insane.
It is.
It's insane.
I just went through all mine like a few weeks ago to cut what I wasn't using.
Yeah.
A lot of music services went out the window.
Yeah. I've done the same recently. Yeah.
AI side, what advice would you give like young Jake or someone just starting out in the video world? Things are a little different now than they were 10 years ago, but what's some advice?
I guess the advice is I guess luckily I kind of took this advice. It's just work, and learn as much as possible. Work for free, and just push yourself and ask questions, and you know, just yeah, never stop learning and evolving your knowledge. Pay for even paying something I never did was like paying for like an online class. To learn more about production is actually something I'm gonna do soon. I want to learn more about color grading. So yeah, maybe taking like an online course.
There's a lot of them
Um,
out there too for like anything.
yeah, yeah, so true. Yeah, just learn and work as much as possible and reach out to people. Work for free.
That's the one
Um,
thing I was going to ask you because we talked about that with Kate on the last episode too, working for free and when to do it and how it works. What do you?
yeah, I still work for free. Maybe not free. Yeah, I
Sometimes,
can't
I mean,
remember.
I've worked for
Yeah,
free. I've done,
yeah,
yeah,
totally. At least a much lower rate. If it's something that I'm interested in, or something where I think it will gain value, or I don't have too much going on, or somebody I like working with.
yeah.
Yeah,
Maybe
I
be smart
still,
about it.
yeah, you gotta, yeah, exactly. You don't want people to take it, advantage,
Yeah.
of course, which unfortunately happens. But yeah, yeah,
Agreed. All right. So I think we covered everything that we wanted to cover. I mean, that was a great little bit of insight. Hopefully this
yeah.
helps you with your
Just
trend in
yeah,
2025 of being on camera
just me
more.
rambling of me not knowing what to do.
Use
it's
AI to
it's
help you.
yeah. There we go. I'll ask AI how to niche down and to separate my websites for there are different categories for marketing. There we go. I'll ask AI.
Just make sure it's like you don't want to ask generic AI because it'll give you some. A lot of people trust AI too much.
Yeah, that's scary.
But yeah, all right. I'm excited to see what happens in the next. I'm gonna give you 6 months
Okay.
to. I don't
Okay.
know.
Yeah, we'll come back in 6
We'll
months and see
have you on again.
see
See
what's
where you're at,
changed. Yeah. Yeah. Very
All right.
cool.
Well, where can people find you? What's your Instagram handle?
Yeah, I have 2 Instagrams, Phitted Media and also Phitted Jake for
How do
my
you spell Phitted
Phitted? Yeah.
Media?
Yep, media. And my Instagram page, fittedmedia.com, Facebook's Phitted Media. And yeah.
Just reach out. Send
Yeah.
you
Reach out.
send
Yeah,
that
if you're a
Jake a
local
DM
business
if
owner,
you're looking for.
construction agency.
You
Yeah.
will wake up at like 2 a.m. if you need to,
Yeah, I do.
and
Yeah.
travel to
Texting
Boston.
back
Yeah.
at 10 o'clock at night about a job that's happening the next day, super early. Yeah, yeah. I go to Boston a lot, all over New England.
Nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks everyone for unboxing another episode of Local Business Unboxed. Be sure to follow us wherever you get your podcasts. We're going to be on Apple, Spotify, and YouTube for the most part. Check the show notes for Jake's info and some links. And join us next time where I think we'll have a real estate agent on in the next episode. So stay tuned for that. Until then, we'll see you next time. Thanks for listening.